I'm excited to be joined by Austin Carson. He's here as YYY, which is the project through which he's releasing a cover of the most acclaimed album of all time, according to acclaimedmusic.com, which was like a tally of all of the charts.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So a complete cover record of the most acclaimed album of all time, and it's great.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to delve into that with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It features everyone from Lydia Liza to POS to Fort Wilson Riot to City Councillor to Al Church, to name but a third of the guests. But you create all of the music.
Yeah, so essentially, other than like there's like a few guitar parts that I have Al Church play, and then there's some background vocals, and then I believe a trombone part, and then just like a couple odd instruments.
Yeah.
But other than those, and the vocals, I should say, I'm doing everything behind it. So all the arrangement, production, recording, all that.
And one of the reasons why Pet Sounds is so superlatively acclaimed is because of the production.
Right.
So, and some of the production decisions with that record including dogs barking, a train, and the first ever use of a theremin, I think, on a rock record.
You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I would not doubt it.
Brian Wilson would talk about extending the Phil Spector wall of sound technique.
Yep.
So those were some of the production ideas behind the original record. You probably didn't have a budget of $70,000. I don't think they had a budget of $70,000 either. But to what extent and in what ways are you kind of following in that path? To what extent and in what ways did you make a different set of production decisions at the beginning?
I guess I've always had just kind of the natural things I gravitate towards when I'm producing songs, I really like synthesizers, samples, things like that. So I also just the way I build songs in general, they have a lot of layers, so it already almost has a wall of sound type quality to it.
Yep, I can hear that. Definitely.
Yeah, and then I wanted the record to be really dynamic, so I wanted to take it from like, you know, that might have like a really subtle a subtle verse, and then the chorus builds up to be really big and kind of just be almost like a roller coaster of sounds. That's essentially what it is. Yeah,
and was it something about Pet Sounds and the songwriting that you thought, you know, especially invited that treatment, or is that a production decision that you would make for a different project as well?
I would say that's a production decision I would make for a different project as well.
Like that's your style.
Yeah, that's kind of what I went into it thinking was more or less like, I'm gonna take these songs and just kind of paint them with my paintbrush, essentially.
Because that's obviously what they were very definitively doing.
Yeah, definitely. You think about like what Brian Wilson was doing at that time, and he kind of like isolated himself. Essentially,
he stopped touring with the band.
Yeah, he stopped touring with the band.
On songwriting and studio time.
Yeah, and so he had a lot of issues mentally he was dealing with as well. Like, a lot of the songs really spoke to me in that way. There's just a certain sonic quality to them that kind of invokes a lot of different emotions, and so I was working on my own record at the time, and
which
so I was like maybe 70% through that record, and I kept hitting these blocks in the road, and so I was just like, you know, maybe I'll just do a cover song just to like jumpstart the creative juices in my brain.
To get going,
and so I did That's Not Me, and which is like, I wanted to do a song from Pet Sounds, and that was the one that was the one I could sing the best, essentially.
Which is the one that you sang on the album.
On the album, yeah. So I did that one, and I was like, you know, after I had done maybe 200 vocal takes, and it had gotten down to like I would be cutting and pasting different words in different spots, like this one's on key, this one's not, so I'm gonna like it. And I'm
familiar with that process.
Yeah, I spent so much time piecing the vocals together to make it sound great. And once I was happy with it, then I added the other production and whatnot, and that ended up being something that I was really, really proud of. And so I was kind of toying with the idea at the time of doing the record. It's originally 13 songs, and that's kind of a big...
It's a long record.
Yeah, it is. And I'd never made a record that long before, and so just kind of like in feeling out if I wanted to do this or not, I'd showed it to a few of my close friends and some of my friends that I knew that trust my musical output, and so they were, a lot of them were kind of like almost like the test pilots on like
the litmus test.
Yeah, and so like the song I did right after mine was Caroline No with Jenessa.
Oh yeah.
She's always been like one of my best friends, and
and she's an Elle.
She's an Elle PF, with Renelle and Catherine, and so I had hit her up because she's got an amazing singing voice, and we started kind of just piecing this song together, and I had my friend Nigel, who plays the 808 on the song. He's got this Roland drum pad that he played it out, and then at the end I didn't know how to end it, and I didn't know how to build it up into like the last note of the song, and so I ended up just kind of going with I'd always recorded a lot of the just in-studio vocals of just like people talking and whatnot, and so I kind of cut it out to Jenessa clearing her throat, and then it comes back in with a big thing, and so I guess coming full circle, it's that song ended up being like kind of one of the ones that like, wow, okay, this is like...
That's definitely one of my favorites on the record. As it were, the first two from this narrative are two of my favorites.
And so I kind of went from there, and I just kind of went with my gut on most of the decisions. And once I got about 4 or 5 songs in, I think it was, I had my song, Jenessa's God Only Knows with Matt.
Who's also ended up mixing.
Yeah, he did. He did part of the mixing on it.
His previous project was John Jones.
Yep.
Yeah, so people maybe know him from that.
Yeah, he's got a new project called Hayden Fox coming out. That's really cool.
Cool.
Just a little plug for all you viewers out there. So
I interrupted you. So you had the song, and then the song with yours. So you had That's Not Me.
Yep.
And then with Jenessa, you had Caroline No.
Yep. And then
which was the first Brian Wilson. It was released as the first Brian Wilson solo record.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you had Matthew John, God Only Knows.
And then I had Al Church doing Sloop John B, and so I was about 4 songs deep, and it was kind of like this. I had like almost this moment of like, I almost had like a panic attack, because I'm the type of person that I can't do rock climbing, not because I can't look down, it's because like looking up and seeing how far you have to go, that frightens me. And so I was like, because I was like, well, I already recorded all these guys, and so they're all expecting, I can't not do it now. And so I just had to, I just like, all right, this is what I'm doing, and I probably put in more work in that than I'd probably put in anything else in my life, essentially.
Well, Brian Wilson actually had a panic attack, which led to the situation of just being in the studio and working. He was on the plane, didn't he? Famously had a panic attack. There wouldn't be the record if there wasn't for his panic attack.
So, I think one of the big things too about the record that I guess kind of in my own mind, I would always consider a song to be like a win for me if I had tried something new and it had worked out on it. And in the end, it was literally every single song had some moments on there where I had done some sort of weird experimentation or ran everything through like a different, through a phaser or different like weird studio things that that I thought were not only was it like me, because that's what I like to do, but it's also very much the original record where if you listen to the instrumentation they had, it was a lot of very unconventional things for the time. And so that's, at one point I remember just going to Music Go Round and just looking for like, everything from like a slide whistle to a kazoo to I ended up borrowing my friend Tony Williams' xylophone. And then Chris Audette, I borrowed his banjo for Hang On To Your Ego. And it ended up just like everything just kind of came together.
Well, the record, it's called Pet Sounds, I think in part because of that. Because, there's like bicycle bells, there's Coca-Cola cans, we reference the barking dogs and stuff. Do you have cats?
Yeah,
so... Do your cats feature on the record?
Yeah, my cats are actually on the song Pet Sounds.
Nice. If I would be disgruntled if I were your cat and I wasn't on Pet Sounds.
It was like really hard to capture my cats meowing because it's like, it's like they'll do it all the time when I'm not recording, but the minute I start recording, it's like they know. And
divas.
And so and then we had I recorded Brunel's dog Zephyr for the end of Caroline No, where if you do the howling thing, you can get him to howl, and so I took kind of like the end of that record had like the train going by with the dog barking.
Absolutely.
And so I had this dog barking, but instead of a train, I recorded myself skateboarding on the sidewalk, and it's got like a kind of like that same click-clack type of motion to it. And so that was kind of like I kind of thought that was cool because it's like...
So that is... Because I was asking before, is there any moment where you try and recreate something?
So that is. Okay.
That's the right moment to try and recreate, I think, because that's, such a defining moment on the record.
Right.
The sequencing works really well because I feel like at the end of That's Not Me... Does Renelle come in at the end?
Yeah, so she comes in at the end. I wanted, so I'm a huge fan of records that are like seamless front to back, where you'll be listening to a song and then before you know it, you're already on another song, you didn't even know it.
Sure.
I'm a huge fan of those, and so there's like a couple transitions I put in, like between Sloop John B and or Let's Go Away for a While and Sloop John B.
Yeah.
And then That's Not Me.
Guitar transition.
Yep, that's the guitar transition. And then between That's Not Me and Don't Talk, which is the Elle PF song, I had decided to extend out the end of That's Not Me.
Yeah.
And
because there's already the refrain, the repetitive refrain.
And so I was like, let's extend this out. And then I took the beginning of Renelle's song and kind of put it under. And then since they're in different keys, I pitched the entire thing on a slope down to gradually goes down to the key of that song. So so then I had Renelle come on and sing the parts of my song. Yeah. And so it kind of just like, I wanted to make it as seamless as possible.
It is, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool too. Okay, so last time in our chronological narrative, you were looking out the mountain and you had 10 songs left.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have a sense, and then, so you were yet to involve, so presumably, like Josh is going to come over soon at this point in the story, because and he ends up doing Wouldn't It Be Nice.
Yep, that was probably right after, he was probably like the 5th song.
Okay.
And, yeah.
At what stage does Renelle do?
Renelle's probably like the 6th song.
Yeah. I'm asking in the right order.
Yeah.
The City Councillor one. When does that come out?
Man.
That's a particularly good one, I think.
Yeah, so that one... Oh, so actually, wait, I messed up the order. So it's after... I believe it was after the song I did with Jenessa. I met up with Wealthy Relative and to do the Pet Sounds instrumental, which might be my favorite track on the record.
How did you go about doing it? Because that's unique then, isn't it? Because the other ones, it's you do some production work, then you have the vocalist come in, and then you do more, and you might have like a feature guitarist or something.
Yeah, Wealthy Relative is he's a producer and rapper in the cities, and he his name's Dan, and his production is so cool. It's really, really different, and so I was like, his production style would be perfect on this record. And I also initially just kind of, it's very strange to work with another producer because if you have like a vocalist and a producer, the roles are kind of already like predefined. Yeah. But it ended up being going really, really smooth with Dan, where, I'd start with like this one piece I was working on, and then like we'd switch spots for like a half hour, and he'd be doing something, and then so it like, he's really good at things like doing drum programming and just like adding like little sounds and samples and drops and things, and then I kind of took that and used a lot of that as kind of like a spine for the rest of the instrumentation, and it all just kind of came together, and I think the way that one turned out just sounded really cool to me.
You also work better with cats than others.
Yeah, that ended up being just right to get a cat on Pet Sounds.